Today I was talking about restorative just culture and our experiences of implementation at Merseycare. So the presentation covered really our journey to implementing a restorative just culture. It described what we mean by restorative just culture. Simply speaking, that's a culture that looks at fairness, accountability and learning. And we really asked the audience to consider, had they ever made mistakes in their career? And by reflecting on their own experiences and mistakes that they might have made, to actually have a new lens that actually focused in a different way to looking how incidents or events in work occur. I'm really starting to think about the difference between direct causation, so really blaming an individual solely for a mistake or an incident that happened in work, to actually having possibly a contributory factor. And there's many contributory factors that it can give within organisations. So we ask the audience to consider the difference between causation and contribution. So key points is really about what you as individuals can do. So thinking about how you interact with colleagues, enabling them to feel psychologically safe in the workplace. Always focusing on what and how occurred if there was an incident or event, rather than focusing on who. Being civil and respectful in all the conversations that we have with staff members and colleagues in the workplace. And also really trying to understand and sense make from the person's perspective, rather than applying hindsight bias or stereotypes when you look back and have all the knowledge of when an incident or event occurred. And also start to think about shifting in the language that we use. So rather than saying things like you failed or that was a violation of this policy and procedure, to actually start thinking about it through a different lens of, well, it didn't go to plan or how you expected it to go, so please explain to me how that occurred so I understand better. Because if we get that granular level of understanding, in our experience, it prevents similar things reoccurring, and actually, in our language, creates that safety dividend for patients and service users. Why are these conferences important? Well, for me, particularly what we've just all experienced in the last 18 months during the pandemic, it's a real opportunity to meet with people in person and listen and understand and actually contextualise some of the things that can make a major difference to people's resilience and well-being in work. It's been so severely affected through the pandemic that actually listening to best practice may help you gain something that you can enact in your organisation to turn the dial to improve that well-being, that morale, that motivation, that engagement in the workplace. And we know, all the research tells us, that has a direct impact on the service that you provide. So I think it's an opportunity for learning and reflection and sharing, but with the important message of enactment as well.